Is this one of our annual Christmas reviews?
Yes.
Is it a horror movie?
In the way that some home invasion movies are classified as horror, sure.
Is it gory?
Yeah, like overwhelmingly.
All this and more on Gory Storytime.
Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I am your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and technically, neither one of us really does think that this is a horror movie. No, but, because we do a show called Gory Storytime, and it is probably the bloodiest movie I've seen since...
This movie is
since
violent.
What was his name? Terrifier.
Oh my goodness, Terrifier. I saw that way more recently than the other one I was talking about.
But this isn't quite that level of gore, but it's close. It's very close. So we're going to review it because it's a Christmas movie. We're going to review it because it is gory.
And we're going to review it because we want to, and it's my dang show, and I can tell you what we're going to do. All right. Well, I say we're going to review this movie. We're going to review this movie.
We want to review The Mean One, the Grinch horror movie.
There are no guarantees.
Yeah, if that works out, hopefully that'll be next week. But it's very, very limited.
And heck,
of a release.
like I don't even care. As soon as I got my eyes on a screen watching that movie, we'll be reviewing it the next time possible.
I don't care if it's March. Like our Easter special could be the Grinch horror movie.
Why not?
But anyway, what we're doing this week is Violent Night. For those who haven't seen the amazing trailer, let me tell you a little story. I saw this trailer and I immediately said, Jason, you have to watch this trailer. And I messaged it to him. And he was like, oh, we are watching this movie. And it happened to be in Springfield, which is not that far from where we live, and we made sure to go see it. So if you're local, go see it if you find it interesting.
If you're not local, go to a theater, because most of them are carrying it.
Not most.
The ones in this area are.
I mean, there's
Except
a lot
for
of theaters
this
that don't
one.
like putting out R-rated movies because it doesn't make as much money.
Well,
but anyway.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, thumbs down to the theaters, not to the movie. Basic premise, there's a rich family full of rich snobs. Most of them are not good people. They have an ungodly amount of money in this vacation home where they're celebrating Christmas. And some military-esque bad guys know this, and they show up all weaponized and do a home invasion and kidnap everyone. And a little girl who's there has a walkie-talkie that she believes, if she talks into it, because her parents told her this, can talk to Santa Claus. So she asks Santa, can you help? And the rest of the movie is like if Santa Claus was John Wick.
Yeah, I guess so.
He finds out she's on the nice list and they're on the naughty list, and he makes them pay. He threatens to put coal right up their chimneys.
Yes.
Let's put it that way. That's basically the premise. Santa Claus has to save a family from a home invasion
of like mercenary terrorist types
who want to kill and rob them.
If you're in, you're in. Like,
yeah, that's basically all
Santa
I can
Claus
say.
killing mercenaries.
There's not a lot of facts about it. I we talked about that, and I said, I'm going to find some more. And I read in-depth interviews with people, and I've got some info. So we've got our full 20 facts, even though there was only 8 on IMDb.
But if our explanations weren't enough,
check out this very cool trailer.
You ain't driving, are you?
I steer a little, but the ranger do most of the work.
This is my 4th year as a Santa. How about you?
I started the whole damn thing.
It's Christmas!
We decided that you could have one gift.
Early.
What is it?
That is a direct hotline to Santa Claus himself.
I can talk to Santa.
All right, revelers. Welcome to your worst Christmas ever.
Let's go!
You have $300 million in your personal vault. That's what I want for Christmas.
I don't want any trouble, okay? Someone's gonna scooch up that chimney.
Who is he? Because it's not your typical mall Santa.
Santa, are you there? Daddy said you were very busy tonight. My name's Trudy Lightstone. Are you gonna help us, Santa?
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
You're on my nice list. Santa Claus is coming to town. Time for some season's beatings.
Who the hell are you?
Boss, what if he really is the real?
No such thing as Santa.
These bad men, they're all on my naughty list. Naughty. That's naughty!
And what do you do to the naughty ones?
I give him a lump of coal.
Where is it?
I gotta watch.
I believe in you, Santa.
Come on. Which one of you did that? Prancer? So unprofessional.
What's next? All right. I mean, that trailer tells you exactly what you're in for. If that trailer excites you, it is that. If that trailer is like, is it really that? And you don't like it, then don't go because it's that. That trailer is...
but if you don't like it,
Well, no, like some people don't
Ew.
like super violent action movies.
well, gross.
But I will tell you, out of a lot of trailers that leave suspense, there's nothing in that trailer that doesn't tell you exactly what you're in for. So all the complaints of people online that go in and then they're like, oh, it was too violent. That was one of them you said we were reading. And I'm like, a movie called Violent Night is too violent? That's weird. It's almost like when Anthony Jeselnik had his show called The Jeselnik Offensive and then got fired for
being too offensive.
Right.
Disgusting.
People
It's
are,
called Violent
people
Night.
are dumb.
When they are talking.
Pretty much. But before we get into the behind the scenes, let's get into why we're here. See, we could be here to review this awesome movie. And spoiler alert, we're going to give it a high rating because we enjoyed it. Like, if you can't tell that from just what we've said, then you're not paying much attention. Kind of like you most times.
Yeah, basically.
But he paid attention to the movie because it was that good. Anyway, what we're really here for is to make money. And how do you do that when you do a show for free and post it for free? Well, you get big companies to sign big checks to promote their little products. And then we have to say that we really love them and use them ourselves and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes, I use them.
I mean, there were people that got fired for working for like say Pepsi because they were caught out in public drinking Coke. Seriously, it's like celebrity endorsements are a big deal. Like you
That's
don't
ridiculous.
get seen with the competitor. But anyway, this week we had a bunch of money dropped off at the house, all in pennies, which was annoying, and not
Oh
even
my
wrapped.
goodness.
They just like dumped them outside our house. We had to shovel them in. But anyway, for us to advertise these amazing products. Gory Story Time is brought to you by Mythological Extraordinary Secret Service, the comic series about people and creatures from mythology who fight threats to the earth. Follow Santa, the Easter Bunny, Cupid, and more. Each individual story is a standalone, but shows in the background a building threat so big that they will come together as a group. It's a combination of 007, John Wick, and The Expendables. Mythological Extraordinary Secret Service will keep you in suspense right till the final issue. Issue 1, The Naughty List, coming soon from GST Comics. And by
Adult Christmas Toys LLC, the only company that specializes only in Christmas-themed products for adults, from North Pole massagers to Benoit bells, to inflatable Miss Claus and candy cane flavored lubricants. Adult Christmas Toys LLC, bringing a magical Christmas to every good mommy and daddy.
All right. Let's see. Let's get into the
Meat and beef of the show.
yes.
Or as I like to call it, the meat and beef of the show.
You're a dumb person.
I'll go first.
Sure.
Morgan Steele says he could have stopped the hijackers on 9/11 had he been aboard the plane, a claim Mark Wahlberg made and apologized for in 2012.
It was written by the same team that wrote the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Very different movie.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't remember Sonic stabbing the Eggman.
I mean, the second one would never had to happen, so... the saint upon which Santa Claus was based, Saint Nicholas, was famous for a fight at the Council of Nicaea. Nicaea?
Nicaea, I'm not sure. Nicea. It had its world premiere showing at New York Comic-Con on October 7th, 2022.
After Santa Claus, David Harbour, takes out some of the insurgents, Scrooge, John Leguizamo, asks whether the protagonist could be a small-town cop with 5 kids, a reference to Stranger Things and David Harbour's character, Chief Hopper.
Makes sense. Just before eliminating a mercenary bleh, using a sledgehammer, Santa says, "That's naughty," and repeatedly shouts, "Naughty," before swinging the hammer down. This is likely a reference to the Christmas horror film Silent Night, Deadly Night, the first one we ever did for our Christmas episode.
Reasonable. The number of visual and plot references towards Die Hard 2 within this movie should not be surprising, as John Leguizamo features in both. Total may exceed double digits
What? I don't know what that means.
of references and
Oh.
visual shots.
Okay. I'm like, that seems... Okay. Shortly after the dad, Jason, has his finger broken in the Nutcracker, his hands appear to be fine the rest of the film. That would be a mistake, but that's...
You know, I didn't even notice it. Doesn't hinder my feelings. There's a bonus scene with Bert vlogging during the credits.
Yep, spoiler alert, but it's not really a spoiler alert. John Leguizamo says in a behind-the-scenes video, Violent Night is a very edgy Christmas movie. It's dirty, filthy, and wrong on so many levels. We got Christmas movies for the kids. This ain't for the kids.
Violent Night's opening weekend was $13.3 million. Predictions pegged the movie between 10 and 12, making it more profitable than expected.
In 2013, Norwegian director Tommy Wirkola made his studio debut with Jeremy Renner and Gemma Alterton in the Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters film that he made. It grossed $226 million on a $50 million budget, and he says that's why he got to do this.
Good. Tommy Wirkola also says influences he went to for Violent Night include Die Hard and Home Alone.
and you can see both.
Oh,
You really can.
oh,
see
you
both.
can.
Beverly D'Angelo, who plays the matriarch of the Lightstone family, was famously in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
The mom
Okay.
was from, yeah.
I didn't even
recognize
realize
her.
that. Co-writers Josh Miller and Pat Casey wrote a very detailed backstory of how Santa found the North Pole, the elves, and how he discovered giving gifts gave joy. Director Tommy Wirkola says they already have ideas for a sequel if one is greenlit.
The character of security guard Al originally had a bigger role. One of the bad guys was supposed to take his uniform, and when Santa comes to him and asks for help, there was a whole tense scene. But because of timing, it was cut. Don't read the first line there because that was somewhere else. Just start at the second with Universal.
Okay, Universal Pictures released the film in theaters in the United States and Canada on December 2nd, 2022.
In November 2022, Harbour mentioned there were discussions already of Miss Claus appearing in a potential sequel during production of the first film. He expressed interest in seeing Charlize Theron in the role. Shocking. Shocking. He's like, I would have to make out with an attractive lady, and I'm going to make sure Mrs. Claus is an attractive lady. So he just picked a name randomly of a hot woman in Hollywood that he would like to make out with. I guarantee that's how that happened. It doesn't say that. That's my opinion, but come on.
Okay, I'm here at 19. Producer Kelly McCormick confirmed that all creatives involved intend to make a sequel with work on the project commencing in the next few weeks.
And the reason those two things, the sequel, if it's greenlit, and that seemed contradictory, is that was a fact from earlier, and now that it's made more money than they expected in the first, in the
Like that was
weekend.
before.
Yeah,
This is now.
yeah. In December of the same year, that would be this year, Wirkola confirmed that there have been ongoing discussions between he and the writers, potentially Mrs. Claus, the North Pole, and the elves, all factoring into the sequel story.
That is so cool. I'm so excited. In case I'm not supposed to spoil how I feel about this movie, I am totally stoked for the sequel.
All right, now let's get to the good stuff. And because of it, know how we feel.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh yes, do that too.
Before the thing he was gonna go on to.
For once,
Rotten Tomatoes is a website that collects so many different reviews from critics that they give us a number of how many of those critics liked this movie.
Yeah.
They also have a section
where the people can vote.
Exactly.
And the critics, you have the critics, right?
No.
You always have the critics. So save the number here.
All right, then the critics have this movie at a 71%.
He makes fun of me for trying to skip this part, and then he wants to do it backwards. You're always the critics person.
This
always,
feels
always,
wrong.
always. Right? Thank you. Our producer is nodding like, yes, you dumb.
I don't think so.
It's literally that every week, and every week
Comment down below if what he's saying is true.
I'm going to guess that's either going to be Nikki or Danielle, fans of the show that are also friends of mine.
Go watch this
one's
movie.
a friend, Nikki, and then Danielle, who I would like to think of as much more than a friend.
Your boyfriend?
She is my lady friend.
Boyfriend.
We're trying to figure out what doesn't sound like childish, so my woman. But anyway.
Man.
Nope.
The warden?
Sure, the warden. You dingus. But yeah, go ahead and comment and tell him what a dumbass he is. And the people who are smarter than the critics when it comes to horror, action, comedy, most of the time, followed suit this time at 89%.
Yes. These are amateur numbers. These people don't know what they're talking about.
I mean, we saw a lot of reviews where people were like, it's too violent.
Go away.
It's like, you guys saw the trailer, right?
You don't deserve to have seen this movie.
If you saw that trailer and then went and saw
violent.
the movie and it wasn't violent, wouldn't that have felt like they did something wrong?
Then it's just like a family Christmas movie about Santa.
I mean, there was some serious
to everybody.
Christmassy. Well, whatever. We'll talk more about.
We'll spoil it. Don't worry.
Yeah, but definitely see this movie. Is my opinion. What would you say is your least favorite? See, I always try to do the hardest one first.
This is definitely
because this
difficult.
is a good movie. So,
and this is super nitpicky.
Yep.
But I guess technically, it was a little annoying to see Santa Claus in a montage of stealing people's alcohol and just trying to get super blitzed because he was depressed about how kids didn't believe in him.
And except.
Like, no. Like, this guy was...
What he did over
in,
the city of Los Angeles was amazing. That was Los Angeles, right?
I don't remember now.
There was a shot, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a shot of him after he's drunk standing up in the sleigh.
Oh.
Right?
I didn't remember
and that makes that scene good for me. But I get it. He started with he's nitpicking.
Like, I'm lying to you, basically. But, like, it is a little
it fits
weird
the story,
to me that, like, Santa Claus would be depressed. Like, the magic that makes him just
that's
happiness.
The story of the Santa Clauses series now, too.
But, like,
right.
And I'm totally lying to them. All right? This is not
it doesn't really bother him.
Movie.
My least favorite part would probably be knowing that they had, like, doing my research, they had more backstory that was filmed and they cut it for time. They cut a lot of him telling the story, but obviously it cuts to some of what he's saying. And the only reason I'm picking that is because I would have loved to see it. But knowing that they want to include it in a sequel, I'm willing to wait.
Like, he
so
had
again,
this thing,
nitpicking.
Right. He had this thing where he kept bringing up Miss Claus about wanting to see her. And it's like...
It seemed like they were going through a rough patch.
And
he said something about, even when you're together for 1,000 years, like, sometimes you still have to work at it. And, he was really worried about, he almost lost his wedding ring and stuff because he really wanted to see her and try to work things out. Because his depression kind of pushed them apart is the way they made it sound.
And
now that he's less depressed.
I'm totally stoked to meet his wife.
Yeah. And it seemed like things were going okay on her end because of some things that she sent to him in the film. But that's already too much of a spoiler. What's your favorite scene?
There's not just one thing in this movie.
I know. You got to pick
It's the gore.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the gore. Right from, like, he shows up all the way until the absolute finale of this movie within, like, 5 minutes of the credits. This movie is gore, gore,
bloody,
gore.
bloody, bloody, and I love it. Okay, I can see that.
Like, I'm surprised there weren't body parts hitting the camera.
I mean, and it was that over the top. It's obviously fake gore, but it's that kind of a fun ride that you want. It was perfect for what this was. Kind of like the over the top stuff with our.
Wait, so I should choose one specific thing?
You already said yours.
I said gore, but
right,
like
now it's my turn.
Okay.
Oy. Honestly, it's the interactions between him and the little girl. Because as much as this is not for children,
no,
this is like, don't let your kids see this. Like, don't. When they get older, but I'm saying,
don't let
like,
your young kids see this.
Right. Like, maybe teenager, whatever. That's, I probably would have.
Like, they're not old enough to make it into the theater, but they're 15. It's like, come on.
Yeah. Like, you would have seen it before you were 15 if it was already out. But this is definitely not one to bring the kiddies to. So don't mistake that. That said, they do have some real heartwarming stuff between him and this little girl. And it's actually really positive Christmas message thrown into this violent, cussing, murderous
alcoholic
movie. Yeah.
Like, I cried at one point in this movie. I won't tell you which one that is, but But I did.
I'm also a man.
Well, tears. yeah. Oh, yeah. That. Oh, sure.
No, I'm the one that cries every time I hear the song "Angel" because I think, why would they do that?
He cried at a book when a bird died, and I'm not the man.
It was an owl.
Bird.
It was a specific owl. And it was an owl that was important through the entire Harry Potter series. It was
what
Hedwig.
I'm hearing,
and when Hedwig died, it was sad. Spoiler alert: Hedwig died.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Listen, shut up. Are we here to spoil a Harry Potter fact?
Apparently. Because I'm a man.
Anyway, so I think the actual sweet things, between him finding out she's on the nice list, all these things, like
all of them.
The interactions with the little girl are awesome. And the little girl is probably my favorite character outside of Santa Claus.
Yeah, those are the two most likable characters in this entire movie.
Was all her, you know what I mean? And woo,
yes,
if he had to pick one gory scene,
that was the one that I was about to try to bring up.
There are some direct, she says, I watched Home Alone, and it comes back in spades. It's amazing.
I watched Home Alone. I could set up traps. Yeah, do that.
And except, you know how Home Alone, you go, that would kill somebody, they wouldn't keep coming at you? Well,
this movie had enough faceless goons.
They made sure that just the nail on the stick. Anyway, all right. On a scale of 1 to 10, what
10.
do you rate? Same. It is exactly what it.
You watched the trailer. You know what you're going in for. You know exactly what you're going in for.
So if you aren't into violent action movies with a sense of gross out humor, then no, this isn't the movie for you. But if you are anything like us and enjoy that stuff, this is
exactly the movie for you.
I can't imagine anything making this a better version of this. I'm already prepared to watch a sequel knowing I'm going to be disappointed that it can't possibly be as good.
I am going into the sequel much more hopeful than that.
I hope
the next one could be an 11.
I hope it'll be,
Judgment
good.
Day.
Sure, but I doubt it. Because
right?
Judgment Day's better than the OG. But anyway, we're not here to talk sci-fi. That's on our spin-off show that we're not really doing called Talk Nerdy to Me.
Heck yeah.
Which we really want to do, but we just don't have time for it.
Sure we do.
No, we don't.
It could be a 5-minute show after the next one.
No. Anyway, so 2 10s, it is exactly the best representation of what it claimed to be.
It is 100% a movie starring Violent Night called David Harbour. Yes. Okay. It's perfect. Go watch this movie. On the side of the screen, there are those things that I read every week. You can watch this show on Fact TV channel 1076 Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Fridays at 7 p.m.
You can like us on Facebook. And when I say us, I don't just mean us. I mean, you can. There's Gory Storytime, but there's also Fact TV's page, and they live stream a bunch of stuff. And, if you're local, especially, that's a good thing to do. So like them both.
Yes, you can go to fact8.com and watch a bunch of back episodes of this show as well as many other pieces of entertainment that they make on this channel.
And you can also check us out on the Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
I'm at Jiggly Firmbrain, spelled the way it looks on the screen there. And I don't tweet anything of sustenance.
No, if I say something and he finds it funny, with or without context. Recently you actually did one with context.
A little bit, yeah.
It's rare, because usually it's funnier to give it none. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it actually worked better with the context.
So,
and check out my YouTube page. Just look for Gory Storytime. You'll find it. Like, subscribe. If you look for the show, you'll also probably see episodes that are up on Fact TV's page. Like and subscribe. Ring the notification bells. All that YouTuber stuff.
Yes. Oh, and go watch this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And until next time, I've been your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and the original Santa Claus in his house, Craig.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams.